views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LGA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last.
You're listening to Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio from the LGA Broadcasting Networks. Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Larry Show.
And I am Glenn Larry, everybody. Welcome aboard on a beautiful Tuesday night. It's very hot in the desert, I'll tell you for sure. And I mean very, very hot. Oh, gosh. I bid you all welcome for the time zone you might be in. And to all my night drivers out there and ham operators and sidebanders, I think would call it. 73 to you guys too. And to the silent key out there, which is Whiskey 60 Baker. We do thank you so very much. And K6RCL and Goleta, California. And to all those radio guys out there, thank you for listening. And to my affiliates and to the small broadcasters out there, to the low-powered FM and low-powered AM net. Great organization. Nice to be a part of that also. K-Ghost Radio, 101.3 AM 1610. Yeah, FM and AM, wonderful Part 15, beautiful station in beautiful downtown Good Springs. And we bring you this show every Tuesday night. And we do ask, if you do read the banner down here, that if you're one-time caller only, please, when we open the lines, and that you keep it clean. KPFF-FM in Pahrump, Nevada. Nice little station up there, doing very well. I'm glad you're listening to your Pahrump station. They're fantastic. And always, subscribe to YouTube and like K-Ghost Radio and those little stations out there, because we're doing our own little thing. Yeah, we're having fun. Have fun with you. Of course, this broadcast, as you know, we have to talk about UFO, ghosts, and all sorts of stuff. Tonight's show is going to be kind of unique. I have a gentleman, I believe is in New York, and he has gone through a lot of things in his life and experienced a lot of stuff. And you have an opportunity to also ask him some of those questions as I move my microphone over here. Okay. And we will open the lines at 7:30, but I want to introduce Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Glenn. Doing very great. Thank you for having me on your show.
We on our last show we had you came on towards the end, and I asked you if I could get you on. Here you are. That's great. We give everybody a piece of the pie. I wanted to hear this whole story about you in a tree and you meeting all sorts of people in your life. The UFOs, being abducted, meeting Hitler and Bigfoot and all this stuff. You've got quite a tale to tell, and I need to hear it. And I think my listening audience will just love to hear it. So, Mark, let's start it off. Go ahead. How does all start with you?
Well, as far back as I can remember, I missed a lot of my first grade and all of my second grade, and living in Glenville, New York, which is where all Antarctic missions start at the air base. And I woke up one morning with a bloody nose, and I was 7 years old, and I go down the stairs to put the cold compress in the back of my neck, put my head back, and wipe the blood off, and all of a sudden there's a light out in the backyard. It's the middle of the night. And then I see four four hooded figures coming toward me, and they just lift my body up and they take it away. But my consciousness stays behind, and I watch them take it away to the light in the backyard. And then I go to my parents and my brothers and sisters to wake them up, and none of them could hear me. They wake up in the morning, and I'm trying to get them to realize I'm there, and nobody's there. And other people come over, family members come over, and they're all gathering around and stuff. And I'm trying to get everybody to say, hey, here I am. And nobody hears me. I go to the front yard. There's a big willow tree there, or an oak tree. I forget what it was. Huge. And I'm laying against it, and the tree just pulls me right into it.
The tree?
I'm living inside the tree.
It just opened up and pulled you in?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I was sitting inside the tree, and its roots connected to all the roots of the world, because the ground is alive. That's where all life comes from.
Wow.
And I live there, and I wake up a year later in the same bed, and I have no recollection of second grade. And everybody looks at me really strange. I don't talk very much. And
But you were physically gone for 2 years or 1 year?
physically gone for over 1 year.
Over 1 year.
I was taken May 2nd, 1960, which is the day after our U-2 was shot down over the USSR.
Did your parents wonder where you were at for 1 year? What
They thought I was dead. They moved out. They thought I was gone. And then when I showed back up, I wasn't the same.
My God. So you
And
just...
I wasn't treated the same. I was different.
One more time with that. You were what?
I was different when I came back.
You were different when you came. Okay.
Yes, and I was treated different. I was treated as the same.
Wow. And this is from your classmates? You were treated that way, or just from everybody around you?
No, that's from my family.
Oh, okay.
My father, my brothers and sisters.
Right.
I screamed at them at 9 years old. I hate you all.
Wow.
And that feeling has never changed.
So from there, from out of the tree, what happened after? Did you just live with your parents after that, or where'd you go?
Well, yeah, I lived with my parents until I went to the Air Force, and I got a paper route when I was 12 years old in 1965, and in 1967 I see this girl walking towards me. Girl's dress is floating towards me, but there's no girl in it, and it's all of a sudden I'm like, this isn't right. There's a 4-year-old girl's dress floating in the air where a 4-year-old girl would be, and it's coming towards me. So I go to reach for my pocket knife, and it engulfs me in living, liquid, roaring light. And I feel my organs being washed by this liquid light from their insides out to my skin. And then I wake up, and I'm in the middle of 400 Road next to Barber Drive, at the corner. And Barney, the white husky dog, is licking my face, waking me up. And I had that memory that, it was Barney, not the dress. It was Barney, the white dog. He was standing there waiting for me. And where the street light, there was only one street light there, the first street light. So it was all pitch black before then. Mm-hmm. He was just there in the middle of the light where the light ended. And I made it up in my mind that that's what happened. It was just a dog. But then it was June 19th, 2009 in Saratoga State Park, where a little girl, everybody says she's a 4-year-old girl, not 3 or 4, not 4 or 5. Everyone says 4-year-old girl. And she goes missing right in front of police and other witnesses' eyes. Vanishes. And next to her is a tall, dark man. And when I read that in the newspaper, the memory came, the screen memory fell, the dog, and I got through to the real memory, but I was teleported aboard the ship that's in March 24, 1967, that and when I got to this bridge and everybody's looking at me and I didn't know what to do but saying, here I come to save the day, dancing around this huge bridge with all these people standing at all these different stations everywhere. And I'm just running around, dancing and singing, pushing a button here, pulling a lever there. And I get done and everybody claps. And then that's it. I don't remember anything else.
Interesting.
And then that craft is the same one that comes back in October 73. While I'm on duty at Rome Air Force Base, Griffith Air Force Base in Rome, New York. And I'm inches from the nukes that they armed. It's the only UFO in history that makes the U.S. Air Force arm nukes. And I was on duty, and I had to change all the equipment in all the B-52s. There was two B-52s and two KC-135 tankers in the alert station. So I had to redo every one of the personal equipment in those planes by myself, ASAP. And it took me over 30-some hours. And I collapsed afterward, was brought to the hospital, and I was said, oh, you're okay. I was poured into the car, and I was driven back home. And on the way home, the car got into an accident. And then I wake up 2 weeks later in a locked mental ward at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Hospital, directly following the UFO that causes the movie Independence Day.
Huh. Really?
And then yeah.
Why do you think they locked you up? Why do you think they locked you up? Because you knew too much, or?
Well, I was injured. I was hurt, and they pumped me with drugs that made me incoherent.
Oh,
so they
okay.
made me appear that I was mentally unstable, so they could put me there. It's just to confuse me of what happened. Because to confuse me, because I don't remember anything else. I was, that was 2 weeks of missing memory, totally there.
Yeah. Wow.
And, that's it.
So you're aboard this craft, and do you get to talk to anybody aboard that craft?
They just looked and smiled at me and then applauded to me.
Because you're running
And
around.
I have met those people since. They've met me in public.
Recently?
In the past 5 years, yeah.
Amazing. Now,
Well,
you also. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What are you gonna ask?
No, go ahead.
The thing is, the people that are alive that you don't know are alive, because there's a tree of life. Everybody heard the tree of life, but you're on one branch of the tree of life your whole life. The 4-digit no comma nowhere, 2023. There's no comma in your moment, and you don't have a zero birthday card. You start from your beginning. Are you alive in a year of your life, every moment of your life?
Well, I know that I'm 60 going on 67.
Yeah, but are you alive in a year of your life? So every year of your life that you're living a year, right? There's a year of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
What year of your life are you in on day one?
Well, you just keep getting older, I believe, and you live out your years, hopefully.
You are 0 years old on day one.
Yes, true.
And you don't have a zero birthday card.
No, I
That's
don't
your
know.
halo. That's your missing link.
Huh.
You can't be anything. You are not even you don't even exist until you begin, because everything that is began. And you haven't measured consciously the moment you began with your zero birthday card. You don't get one. I don't think
they
you
make
have
them.
paper right now. Your birth certificate says that you're alive with no age. Frankenstein was alive with no age. You haven't been formed conscious. You don't know you're not conscious, because your zero birthday card, your halo, your missing link. Okay, if there's a missing link in your consciousness, how can you be conscious, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make that missing. You have to make your zero birthday card and put your halo on, because when you change your beginning, you change everything. You're not anything until you are begun, and you are conscious of that moment that you began, because you measured it with math. Everything has to be measured with math. And the math that you measure It's insane. You think the sun makes negative days, and you think back to the first day the sun shines. Now, the total of light the sun has made bright is a positive total. You don't measure that positive total of the light that's being made. You measure where you're put. The dish. Your dish 2023 is the Shire.
Okay.
And you can't speak of the kingdom 10 trillion 2023 until you leave the Shire. So every man of God is a demon because they talk of someplace they haven't been to.
Okay, on that note, hold on. We're gonna be right back with Mr. Mark. I gotta go to commercial here real fast, so stand by. All right, we are back with Mr. Mark. And as he spoke about gone for a year or more in a tree, I had gulped him, took him away. And he's telling us about the tree of life, which you've just heard. Mr. Mark, you still with us? Still there?
I'm still
good. Good deal, my friend. You sent me some emails, and along with this mothership situation that you were taken on the ship, or you went to the ship, whatever. How recent was your last visit there, sir? What was your last time you were on that ship?
It was March 24, 1967. It's the last time I remember being on it, but it told me in spring of 2017 that it was arrived in November. And on November 16th, I was sitting here where I am now, and I was told to go outside and take a picture. And the mothership is there in that picture on my Instagram. I'm the Dream Master. And you'll see that it's a bunch of pyramids in the sky, different hues of blue. And that was on November 16th of 2017. And just recently I went outside to take the garbage out, and I look up in the sky, and there's a fleet of drones patrolling the sky over my home, because I believe that mothership is there, and I guess the government does too, and I guess Pope Francis does too, because the apocalypse happens right here on August 19th, 2012, and CTC radio shows prove it. I mean, because I call in on the Ian Punnett show in the spring and tell them that August 19th will be the apocalypse, because it told me it was going to be. And because I found this all out because of August, and then on August 19th, 2019 is when the orb of Kronos comes down, descends from the sky as I'm waiting for it, and emerges its memory of time, 1, 0, comma, and then 39 more zeros. So 41 digits of time were downloaded into my memory. And then 17 months later, in early 2014 became 10 trillion 2014. And I've written that date, that year, as my reality ever since. And since that moment, my mind has publicly and consciously measured more space than the entire human race. And that's the very act in Star Trek, First Contact, that facilitates contact. Contact is with time. And how do you make contact? You contact what makes time. What makes time? The sun's light makes time. So you ask the sun, how long have you shined? The sun will answer you. When it does, you have made contact. What the sun tells you is yours. And what the sun tells me, 10 trillion 2023, is mine. Each of us have our own memory, and time is the amount of memory that we're holding. So we each have a different number of time that operates our mind. And right now, your eyes see what your mind tells them is there.
Yeah.
And your
I see.
mind did not tell your eyes that 2023 is there.
Right.
And it's not there.
All right. So
2023 is the illusion, not the world. You think that time doesn't exist because you don't exist in time. Time exists. All of time exists. All the light that the sun has made bright is there. And time makes a noise. You don't hear it because you don't measure time. You measure a place that you've been put.
yeah.
You measure the dish. 2023. Just like a dog sits at his dish, you sit at your dish. But the dog knows there's a bag that fills its dish, and you don't. All you know is the time, the number that you've been told to stay within. You don't think. You've never had a thought. You obey others' thoughts. You've never had a thought of your own because you've never left the scale you've been put on. The scale is 2023. Pretend Tinkerbell is a comma and make 2023 2023. Did you hear that? 2023. That was space entering your conscious moment. You can hold all of eternity in your conscious moment simply by measuring it there in front of your eyes. Time is our Savior. Time is the Christ connection of contact.
You also
You ask
also
any Christian what year was Jesus born in, and their answer will be ridiculous. And if your God's math does not add up, then it's not God.
interesting. Now we talked also about time travel.
Yeah,
you said you were the first time traveler. What does that mean to me? You were the first to travel in time, or?
Yeah, I got the memory in 2019 because after I measured all this time and all this time was inside me, I got more memory, and I got memory of another me that came back from the future.
Alrighty.
I was gone. I was taken, and I believe I was taken to Antarctica, and I remember being around men with white coats, and I remember being mind merged with an ape, and then put on a mission, and with the ape killed people on a mountain full of snow, and then I in 2019 I get the memory of landing the craft at Kecksburg, PA, with two cloned and diapered Hitlers with painted on pupils.
Okay. These with your aliens that you were with?
There's no such thing as aliens. The thing is, your eyes see what your mind tells them is there. And you haven't told your eyes that there's any more space there yet. And as soon as you put more space in front of your eyes, you will see more life. The Bible writes people live 700, 800, 900 years and more. And your negative mind of 2023 thinks those people are no more. I've met those people. I've met people and monkeys born before Christ because I measure the space that is there, that is made. The ground is there. It's been there 4,600,000,000 years. And that means worms have been eating life that has lived here. Worms have been eating giants and dinosaurs for 10 digits of time. That ground has all the stuff that's lived here has made the life that we eat. And in that life, there's memory. And that memory can be transferred to you if you breathe the air that you're supposed to be breathing. You think that's 2023 air you're breathing, Neo? When you know that 5,000-year-old trees are there making air for 5,000 years. So what you think and what you know are strangers. The air is there. Breathe that air. That's 10 trillion-year-old air. And in that air are engines. And they're tiny, 1/10 the size of a pinhead. They're bright green. And these engines manufacture the forms. They manufacture our thoughts and our dreams. And they manufacture the forms we dream of ourselves as AI. Just like in One Step Beyond episodes, the Navigator and the Explorer. That's the apocalypse. We make life as we dream as AI. That's the how of immortality. And becoming conscious inside the forms our dreams manufacture of us, that's the how of conscious eternity.
Okay, now
All the forms I'll leave that stuff now. I'll give them a chance to think.
Okay, on this one, you had mentioned that Hitler had kidnapped you on a craft, took you to a craft, or what was that all about?
Well, I was taken to Montauk, remember, in January 1958, and being fitted with a bit, which I have been told by strangers I didn't know, that it's Tesla's master implant. I believe it's a bit from Gorge, from the day the Earth stood still. And I'm in that movie at 8:42 twice, along with the only photographic evidence of Santa Claus. Santa Claus is how we time travel. And we don't try and travel with our physical bodies too much as we time travel with our seed. And in our body is the seed, because our body is an avatar shell, and our seed is put there by the orb of life. I have memory of being in the orb of life as a seed before I actually got to my body. I remember the airport in the 50s and the people on the tarmac. So I can remember my journey as a seed to my avatar shell. And this is what gets confused with alien abduction. There's no aliens. There's no abduction. The government has time travel, and they've come and they've contacted me, and they've marched me in the middle of the night, and because there's a different kind of time travel with them and with the gatekeeper time travelers and the people who appear as Santa Claus. I mean, you see Santa Claus and all the elves, but it's actually one elf and a bunch of Santa Clauses. And the Santa Clauses, they shapeshift because your mind can't. They're just too ugly to process. Our minds can't process what they look like.
So,
and so
Hitler.
after,
Tell me about that.
Yeah,
How'd you meet him?
I remember Hitler. I have the memory of Hitler, and then I also have a drawing that was made in 2001 by my son, and who was with me during that time. And he doesn't want to be part of this because he's trying to live his life and stuff. But his drawing in 2001 draws the two green cues that fit from my face in July 2015. Just weeks before I proved that I'm the living Agent Smith by teleporting my thoughts onto live TV in August 8th, 2015 at Barrett Jackson Reno, when the bid on the last Michigan Body 427 Corvette was at $185,000. I make the announcer say a $200,000 bid has been made, but it didn't make him do it. I just thought that in my head, and then I watched it happen. And I even tweeted Barrett Jackson an apology. But 10 days later, Pope Francis is in New York City. And I have two mass swordsmen break holes into my intersection as I slept, bringing me my death.
Your intersection.
And then in November 23rd, 2015, I try to do that teleportation of thought because I give my thoughts more space to cross. My thought speed, my 14-digit thought speed, slices through your 4-digit no comma nowhere like butter, like at light speed. And you've never measured your thought speed, so you don't even know if it's reached conscious level yet, which it hasn't.
Okay,
But
so that's the way you travel through your mind. Then that's what you're telling me. You're vortex that way. You leave with your mind, like astral projection type of thing. Correct? Is that what you're telling me? I'm trying to.
Astral projection is projecting your consciousness, and and you can project your consciousness while you're sleeping, and you can also project your consciousness while you're awake.
Yeah, interesting.
And
We're going to open the lines up, okay? And with all your knowledge, try to be, come down to our level a little bit. I think you're a little above some of my audience's level, thinking about what you're talking about. So we have to kind of explain it to them. But I would like to open the lines up and see if we get some calls and see if there'll be some folks out there that want to ask you questions about your time travel and these the tree thing. It's very interesting to me. So we're going to open the lines up. We're going to get that number out right now. So.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
Okay, I'm here. We do have a line. We have a caller. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you from?
That's Ken from Florida.
Hello, Ken from Florida. Okay, keep your radios down, everybody. And Ken, do you want to ask Mark a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him. He had said last week that he drove Hitler's car, and I couldn't quite understand how he did that when Hitler died in 1945, April 30th, 1945, how he got back to driving Hitler's car from the tree. It just took me as a little funny.
Well, Mark, go ahead. What do you want to tell him?
Well, I said I landed the UFO, and I flew it outside our dome, and I flew it back into our dome as a 12-year-old. That was the other me. There was two me's that came back from when I left from May 2nd. One me came back in early summer of '61. Another me came back in 1965. But I didn't get that memory until 2019. Does that answer your question?
Not really, but when you travel in this, did you breathe oxygen or what do you breathe? Generally, they have a nitrogen breathing system. What did you breathe?
I don't have memory of what I was breathing. I have memory of operating a craft. I have memory of landing the craft. I have memory of looking at two cloned Hitlers with diapers was painted on pupils. And then, what
you call a UFO, they're called off-world vehicles. You got USOs, which is an underwater submersible object, and you got a UFO, but they're off-world vehicles.
Well, your eyes see what they're told to be seen. See, you look at 4-digit space, and you see everything from the same perspective. You've never changed your perspective in time. Your focus, every astronomer that's ever lived has lived and has used their eyes in a 4-digit focus. Without a comma in it. Your moment doesn't have a comma. You have no space in your mind. You can't have space in your mind without a comma in your moment. So everything that you see, nothing's going to change until you change your focus. Everything is there. There's the dimension. There's one dimension. It's the dimension of everything. And it's all happening at once. It's called Jumanji. And it's in the drawing my son draws. And in the drawing is Hitler. And he's flanked by Olmec dignitaries. And in front of them is the Antikythera mechanism. And on the bottom corners are the two green cubes that spit from my face 14 years after the drawing is made.
But my question was, how did you get to drive Hitler's car when he was dead in 1945, April 30th? Your mind can't go back to driving something.
Hitler is
that man was long dead. I mean,
you're still under Hitler's mind control. And the Jews continue putting the Holocaust in everybody's face. They can't get over the Holocaust because it is not over. Hitler's mind control is still controlling you. You think, everything you think when you look up has been designed by NASA. And if you...
Interesting.
The thing is, there's no Earth. there's no universe. And I can prove it right to you in one sentence.
All right.
If the moon and the earth were spinning at different speeds inside a void, then no two objects from a void could impact either surface the same way twice. And since all craters on both surfaces look alike, then there's been no impact from a void. And when there is no impact from a void, there is no void. And when there is no void, there is no earth, there is no universe, there's only the moon outside our dome. Now I'm the first man to walk on the moon's surface outside our dome. I have memory of that. Google YouTube, Mark Jacobs regression. It's the old deepest journey through time ever recorded. And I describe the device that keeps me alive and safe from the howl of time. Time makes noise outside our dome. That's why there's a dome here and there's no time, and that's why you don't hear it. But outside our dome, there's a huge howl because all of the noises of time exist at once, just like Jumanji, a big howl. That is real. And when Jumanji is real, you are not.
Okay.
Jumanji is there.
Ken,
And all you have to do is measure it to be there.
Ken, we're going to open that
Come
line.
in
Ken,
contact with
thanks
the
for
sun,
calling.
ask the sun. How long is
Okay,
time?
I'll open it up again.
Thank you, buddy. Yes. So, okay, that was, I guess she answered his question, but so there is no Earth. Well, what do you think we're on right now, Mark?
We're on the moon's surface, the same surface that's reflected in the sky. And what we see as a moon, we only see a telescope image of it because our dome is made with is a machine. And there's gears and there's rings that roam around our dome. And those rings have holes in them that that create the light
Okay.
of the moon and the sun that we see on our surface.
I see. I do have another caller here. Caller, what's your name and where you from, please?
Hello, Glenn. This is Barbara calling.
Well, hi, Barbara. Welcome back. It's been a long time.
It has been, Glenn. And I
Yes.
tuned in tonight, and I'm so glad. This is a very interesting guest we have tonight.
His name is Mark. You want to talk to him? Ask him a question.
I sure. Mark, hello, Mark.
Hi, Barbara. How are
Hello?
you? Can you hear me, Barbara?
Yes, I hear you. I've been listening to you, and I will be quite honest that sometimes it's hard to follow. And I understand that you've been through a lot, and I think that the time of traveling and whatnot, maybe there's so much information that for us, the layman people, it's hard to digest. Do you know what I mean, Mark?
Of course I do, Barbara. The thing is, you have to realize one thing, that you don't exist. You think
Well,
you exist.
She does
But you
exist.
don't.
One of the things you were talking about was, because I'm a Christian, and you were talking about Jesus when he was born.
Right.
Now, did you see this? Did you see the manger and baby Jesus in the star?
Well, do you know where the last living image of Jesus is?
What may that be?
Well, I know that he has a nice, the hair, the long hair, very handsome. And, he had a lot of miracles and changed the water to wine. And of course, he was crucified.
Well, Barbara, where the last
Yeah.
living image of Jesus is was put on a patient's door at St. Peter's Hospital in Albany, New York, early 1980. And then in 2012, I was donating blood at the Marriott. A nurse walks by, and I blurt out to her, "You've seen the face of Jesus at St. Peter's, haven't you?" And she stops in her blonde tracks, and she says, "How could you possibly know that?" I told that nurse I was there when that face was made.
Now, are you speaking of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
Glenn,
Yes,
is he
that's
talking of
Yeah.
the Lord and
On that-
Savior?
they picked and where I was.
Because
Well,
I have
that's what-
a landscaper named Jesus.
Oh,
Is Jesus
okay.
a common name for the Hispanic people?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, so you're saying you saw a picture on the wall, Mark. Is that what you're saying? You saw a picture on the wall of Jesus, or you saw Jesus himself?
No, I was standing at Kessler's Pharmacy at the bus stop, and the woman I had dreamed of the night before, after asking Gopal, the spirit guide at Beckentar, to help me out of my sleep for a year, she comes walking towards me with the boy that I saw in the dream too. And as her eyes look at mine, I watch the world stop. At that moment, from Kessler's Pharmacy, the face of Jesus is put on a patient's door on the third floor, overlooking where I'm standing.
Oh.
And if you look at the 1951, the day the Earth stood still, you will see in bright red letters, Kessler's, but spelled differently. But that's the same connection.
Did you get that,
Yeah,
Barbara?
was this real then?
Yes, it's real. You can go there and see it.
No,
Have
no.
to see the door.
You said that nothing is real, Mark.
I said you don't exist. You don't. What you think, where you are, 2023 is not there. So if that's where you are, you don't exist because 2023 doesn't exist. You
Okay.
the
When
only
did
thing that
time
you have the
stop,
power.
Mark?
Yeah.
When did it
Well, the
stop,
thing is-
Mark?
It started on the days of the apocalypse, 2012, August 19th, when the orb of Kronos came down from the sky, and it downloaded basically V'ger.
Is this
The
like the
mind merged
Mayan,
with
the
V'ger.
Mayan thing? The Mayan?
Yes, yes. You've heard of the Mayans?
The Mayan
2012
calendar, yes.
The 2012 apocalypse that the Mayans predicted. You see the guy at the bottom of the pyramid at Chichen Itza? I'm that guy.
Really?
I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's bringing more
We
time.
went in
your mind.
Mexico. In Mexico?
I didn't get that. I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you, Barbara.
Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Yes.
In the Yucatan, near Cancun.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful place. We went there. We went there on vacation.
Yeah, I've been on top
last
of the
week.
pyramid. I got a picture from on
Well,
top
you're
of
not
the
allowed
pyramid.
to go on there.
Not
You're
anymore. This
supposed
was
to.
1990.
Well,
1990.
1990.
Maybe you could back then.
I was there at the solstice.
Now, I have
I have a
one more
picture that-
question. Now, that's my husband, Steve. Steve doesn't think you're well.
Well, this man has an eye.
This is an artistic gentleman. Now, one more question. Do you know any other people that have your ability, that can understand some of the things that you understand?
No, because no, yeah.
No?
The people that I know, only I see them in public, and they look at me, and they're from the future. They're people that have been living here for thousands of years. You don't see them because they can tell you psychically, mentally, not to notice them. If your existence right now is in the 2002 movie The Time Machine, and you're the cliff dwellers, you're all having the same 2023 dream. And what is making that dream, that's what you have to destroy.
You know, it sounds
And
like The Matrix.
You're living...
The
you're-
movie
you're
The
living
Matrix,
in
remember
the
that?
Forbidden zone. You're living in the forbidden zone of the planet of the apes. Because I have met apes.
Planet of the
Wow.
born
Apes.
before Christ. There's more life here than you're measuring to be here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm having difficulty
Well,
hearing it.
Mark, you should write a book.
Yeah.
I don't
for
have
God's
time
sake.
to write a book. Well, there's two. There used to be two of me here, and I believe the other one was murdered.
You're a twin? You're a twin?
No. I mean, but two of me came back from the future. When I left, two of me came back. So two of me here in one time zone, one time frame. Then
My sister
that's a
Gladys had
paradox.
twins.
And the paradox is going to be healed. And I have memory of worms, million-year-old worms rising out of the
Now,
ground.
let me ask.
And
Now you say
Everything
that
is right.
I'm not in a real time. So when I have weird, strange dreams, what does that mean? Am I going into the real reality?
Whatever you dream now is not real because what you measure is not real. You have to measure the real, and you have to find out what is real to you. And what is real
I
time.
think everything is real. We live in a beautiful community in Summerlin, and we think this is real. It's very nice. And my husband Steve, he has a successful landscaping business. And be quiet. I'm on the phone with Mark. And anyway, we think this is real. We're blessed with our lives. We have our wonderful kids, Trevor and Justin, and we think this is real, and we're happy.
Yeah. We're really on the radio. So, I mean, that's what I get,
That's my reality.
Right. I guess that's how we see it, Mark. So,
anyway, Mark, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I think that it's fascinating the things you're saying, and I'm really trying to forgive me for not comprehending it in full detail. Steve, be quiet.
Okay.
Anyway, I appreciate you
I was told I was autistic when I was young too. So I mean, I may still be autistic, and I may have the cure for autism, but not too many people like to agree with what I say. And I know
my husband Steve thinks you're not right.
Well, okay. Barbara, thank you for calling, and I appreciate it. Hope to have you back on.
Glenn, nice talking to you again.
Yes.
And we're back. We're back in town. We've been traveling, and Mark, it's been a pleasure talking to you too. And God bless you, and may God bless America.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Barbara. Yeah, great lady. So, but Mark, see, people have different views, like you have your views, type of thing. And I believe we're living in a reality right now. I'm on the radio with you. I do Tuesday shows all the time, and but there might be a different reality, like the Matrix situation you're talking about.
There's more in front of our eyes than we're measuring, and as soon as you measure more for your eyes to see, you will see more. It's very simple. It's logic, and logic begins at zero. And you haven't been.
Yeah.
So you could be controlled by 2023's nonsense forever. So
a lot going on.
Change the numbers, change the world.
We could have another lockdown, type of situation, and where people can't go and do anything. Hopefully that'll never happen again. Where do you see it?
I just watched that movie, Humanity Bureau, last night.
Huh. Okay.
Did you read it? Did you see that one?
No, I have not. I've been so busy doing radio right now, but
because that's basically what you're saying right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Interesting.
It'll open your eyes.
Yeah. I'll write that down. Well, okay, we have another caller here for you, buddy. Stand by.
Okay.
Go ahead, caller. Where are you from, and what's your name, please? Hello.
So much. Bye-bye, Barbara.
Hello.
Hello, this is Mr. Thomas.
Hello, Mr. Thomas. How you doing? And welcome to the show. And what would you like to ask Mark? You're live.
Well, he said that when he left and he went outside the dome and he came back, there was two of him. I'm just curious what happened to the other one of him.
Well, that other one of me was in the craft that landed at Texas. That was the other me. I didn't have memory of that happening in 1965 until 2019. And that other me landed, and that other me was taken away in the craft with the two cloned Hitlers, and the government has had that me ever since.
So the government has the other you?
Yeah, has been ever since that other me came back in 65. But I didn't get the memory of that happening until 2019.
How
And
interesting.
then as soon as I got the memory, I got memory of it being murdered. A memory of that me passage after death. There's a big loud bang in my right ear, and then I saw a waterfall. It was a short one. I just jumped into it. As soon as I jumped in, it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I kept falling and falling and falling. And I thought to myself, what happens when I hit? And as soon as I thought that, I pop out of this little quiet lake. I'm floating above it, and I float over to the shore. I walk up the hill, and I walk into a farmhouse, and everything, and all the animals and people are 20% bigger than me. So I'm real small to everything. And I met a new pet. It was like a dog and a seal combined. And I never saw anything like that before.
And
So,
where was this lake
I
at?
have them. This is it was a memory transfer.
Oh, okay. I
So
get
once
it.
I got memory transfer from the other me, they start because they got the memory transfer of the Hitler, and then that's when the government killed the other me.
Huh.
And they also when they killed the Boston Marathon bomber, when you go through time, the government puts you through time. It makes two of you. One they can kill, and the other one goes on, and I don't know what happens. But one of the Boston Marathon bombers appears right in front of me, right where I'm sitting, 12 feet in front of me, right in my driveway, out of nowhere. And he walks, and I say, "Excuse me, but this is private property." He says, "Back down." He went, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir." And he walks away down the driveway, and away he goes. And it's like there's no way he could have gotten there. He was there tying his shoe, disappeared. So I've been making since 2014 the largest time vortex in history. And you can step in my yard and you could disappear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like a vortex, you're gone?
Yeah.
Wow.
So how did vortex?
Why haven't you tried to rescue your other self?
I have no clue how. I have no clue where it is. I mean, I didn't know it existed until it was maybe a week or two, and then I felt it step.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a chance.
Wow, that's interesting. Does this happen does it happen to you all the time when you see this vortex, or it just comes and goes when it wants to?
I'm creating the vortex was. I was made to create the vortex.
Okay.
I have the bit from Gore, of contact. Okay,
Okay.
that's how I've been able to make contact and to understand all this time and understand all the memories and my time travel, because I couldn't understand time travel without any time in my mind. Once I had put more time in my mind, I was able to understand my time travel.
Huh.
And that I had time travel, and the difference of time and how that, we don't measure all the time that's there.
Right.
All the time is there. We're not conscious of it because we're not measuring it. And all you have to do is measure it. And it'll be there.
Thomas, do you have another question for Mark?
No, I'm curious because Mark also mentioned being in a craft and piloting the craft. Did you learn how the propulsion system worked, or what it actually used to operate the engines?
No. I never heard any sounds. I don't have memory of any engines or sounds or anything. I might be able to answer your question if I have another regression. And you ask me that question, I may be able to describe the entire engine, every nut and bolt and detail and operation of it.
Wow, interesting. Well, we're running out of time. I want to thank Thomas for calling, and hope to hear from you again, Thomas.
Thank you.
All right, my friend. Be well. Thanks for calling. Nice guy, too. Okay, Mark, we're kind of winding up here. So what are your plans now? What are you going to do now? What does the future look forward towards us yourself? What do you think we're going to be, or what you're going to be doing? Or
Same thing I've been doing. I'm sitting here, and I'm translating the information I'm getting from the mothership over my own, and just trying to understand what is what my purpose is and what I have to do. I'm waiting for. I'm a clone. I'm James of 12 Monkeys, MJ12.
okay,
I was put into the future, and I was given instructions, and now I'm just waiting for further instructions.
all right. When you get more instructions, let me know. We'll have you back on.
I certainly will.
Get the updates. What's going on? How's that sound?
That's great.
All right, my friend. Be well. Thank you kindly for being on the air, and keep tuning in.
Pleasure.
And say hello to all the folks out there in New York City. Be well. Yes, very interesting. I'll tell you for sure. We'll be back right after this.
He is back. Now, on UFO Talk Radio, Glenn Larry.
And there I am again, of course. We want to thank Mark for being on and all the callers tonight for the fun show. I want to remind you about, now you might see me in town, and I might be having lunch down at the Pioneer Saloon or having a you-know-what. They've been around since 1913, and what a nice place to go. Good people work there. My buddy's next door. He lives there now, next door to me. But, yeah, I have a good time when I come down there. So you might ask somebody, where's Larry at? Where's Glenn Larry at? Well, they'll tell you either at the station or around the house doing something. But feel free to stop by, wave. Of course, we do appreciate your donations, and we appreciate you listening to us on YouTube. Subscribe and also like us, please. And we'll have more shows like this. It's what it's all about. It's hot here. I hope you're not too hot where you're at. I got some real cool friends over there in Florida. Yeah, Ken and Dee, good people. And of course, Chief is coming down to see me in a couple of weeks. So we'll have him on the air talking about EMS, which is going to be cool. Now, I plan to have the owner from the Pioneer on our show next week. We're going to talk about how haunted it is and all that stuff. It'd be kind of fun for everybody to listen to and get to know him, too. He's a good guy. He has his own thing going, too. But again, I want to thank Franz at Franz Carpet and Tiles for the carpet we got in our beautiful studio here. I did a good job. If you want to know about carpets, 702-625-4419. That's Carpets Tiles USA by Mr. Fran Sullivan. He'll tell you all about flooring and all that stuff. So make sure you check that out. Again, thank you so much. We do welcome your calls and ideas for different shows, of course. And if you know of a little radio station out there that would like to have a show on, like our show, we'll let them carry us. And just they have to get a hold of us first and so give them permission how that all works, this type of thing. So, but again, to all my friends out there that in Radio Land and all the small broadcasters, we do thank you very much. And by the way, hello to Station 23 in Avondale. Over there, good people. Station 78, 87, 77 here in Clark County. I want to thank them. They stop by once in a while. I wave all the time. The sheriffs, the cops go by. I wave, If I had a coffee machine, I'd offer them coffee. What the heck, We're great supporters for law enforcement. Of course we are. All right. Again, thank you so much. I am Glenn Larry, and thank you for tuning in to K-Ghost UFO Talk Radio.